Hi guys, so today we are going to do a very interesting problem, first unique number. So this came in a 30-day challenge problem on Leetcode. And what does the question has to say? You have a queue of integers. You need to retrieve the first unique integer in the queue. Implement the first unique class. So we are given a class and there are functions that we need to implement. So the description of the functions are as follows. First unique number, we are given a parameter of integer array. Initialize the object with the number in the queue. So we are given an array and we have to initialize the queue with the given numbers. Then show first unique. This returns the value of the first unique integer of the queue and returns -1 if no such integer. So it is asking that we need to return the first unique integer. Like we've entered many numbers and we need to just return the first unique value. In case there are no unique value, that is there are all duplicate values, then in that case we return -1 from the function. Then void add. Integer value is given as a parameter. In this, insert value to the queue. We need to simply add a new element to the queue. So we'll talk about the input format. First of all, we are given first unique. Here, as the definition told us, that we are given an integer array. So first unique gives us an integer array 2, 3, 5. So we have to initialize a data structure. We will be talking about which data structure we should be using. So we basically initialize the data structure with value 2, 3, 5. And in this we see that 2 occurs. 2 is the first integer that occurs. So if in case we are asked show first unique number, in that case we return 2 because it is the first unique number. Then the second query is show first unique number. So since 2 was inserted first, so we return 2. So the value is 2. Then add. Then what we are adding is 5. So we see that already 5 is inserted and we enter another 5. So in this case we will never have 5 returned in the show first unique because 5 has become duplicate value. So like I'll show you. 2 was entered, then 3 was entered, then 5 was entered. Then we had to show the first unique number, that is 2. Then we entered a 5. So these have become duplicate values. Then again it was asked show unique number. So till now 2 hasn't been duplicated. So we again show 2. Then add. What we are adding? We are adding 2. In this case, we added 2 and here this also becomes duplicate. So the next query is show first unique. In this case we see that 2 has been duplicated. So the first unique number after 2 was 3. So in that case we would print out 3. We would return 3 from our function. And then we add 3. So we have added 3. Now we see that this and this have become duplicate again. And then we are asked show first unique number. As the condition say, if we do not have any unique number, then we return -1. Now we see that 2 has been duplicated. Also 3 has been duplicated. 5 has been duplicated. In this case, we return answer -1. So this is the required answer. Like we see 2 being returned, 2 is returned, then again a 2 is returned. We do not have to bother about the null. It is just handled by the class. We just need to return the value from the show end function, show first function. then the answer is 3. That is what we got, and then since all the values were duplicated, so -1 is returned from the function. So at first you will have thoughts of a lot of data structures, like how to go about it, which data structure to choose. So we'll also go about the hint section. And the first, the constraints are the length of the nums array, the input array. So the constraints are that the nums array would nums length. Nums.length would be at most 10 to the power 5, then nums of I, the value that the nums array can take is 10 to the power 8, and then the value that is being passed in this can be at most 10 to the power 8, and at most 50,000, like 50,000 calls will be made to show first and add. So these are quite large constraints. I tried doing it with the DQ, wherein I erased the elements that were occurring multiple times. Then I thought of using set data structure for inserting, but then set was not efficient because I could not solve it using set because the insertion order is not maintained, and so we cannot tell which number occurred first. So then I thought of going with a map and a queue data structure. Why did I think of doing this? So let's so हम मैप और क्यू क्यों लेंगे? देखो क्यू में हमारे 2 ऑपरेशन हो सकते हैं, पुश हो सकता है और पॉप हो सकता है फ्रंट से. सो एंड मैप में हम क्या कर सकते हैं कि इसमें सर्च ऑपरेशन काफी फास्ट होते हैं, है ना. सो अब हम क्या करेंगे, बेसिकली हम वी विल initialize, we will take a map of int comma int, wherein we would increase the frequency each time if it has occurred in the array, else we'll put the frequency to be 1. And then queue में हम क्या करेंगे, when we have to check the showFirstUnique function, basically we are inserting the elements in a sorted order, in the order that the nums array gives us. If 2, 3, 5, 9 are initially given, so the queue is the values are inserted into the queue in this order itself. So let's start coding, and side by side I'll make you understand. So I'll comment these out and then make a map of int comma int mp, and I make a queue of int q, which is named q, and then for int x of nums, if mp of x, I am searching if I am seeing if the frequency of the number is 0, then I'll add the value mp of x equal to 1, and also if it hasn't occurred, I'll add it to q dot push x. I'll add it to the queue as well, else I would just increase the frequency in the map and I will not add it to the queue, because see, I'll take a new page. If 2 occurred, then 3 occurred, then 5 occurred, then again if a 2 occurred. So in that case, the function showFirstUnique can never return 2 because it has already occurred. It is the duplicate occurrence. So inserting a number that has already occurred into the queue is of no use, because the function can never return a 2, and which is a duplicate value. So I am not inserting it into the queue. I am simply increasing the frequency in the map. Frequency increased in map. Fine. So I'm doing this here, and since there is no return type, we are returning nothing. And then what we are doing here is I'll check while not q.empty. So what I would do is I would like int front is equal to q.front, and then I'll check if map of front, I'll check the frequency if it is greater than 1, like it has already occurred more than once. This means that it is duplicate. It is duplicate. I would pop that value, q.pop. I would simply pop the value and then I'll continue. In case else, if the frequency is not greater than 1, if it is 1, then I'll simply return q.front, or I can just return the variable that I have initialized as front. And in case the q is empty, in that case we just need to return -1. So what we are doing here is हमने front value ले ली q की, एंड अगर उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी ग्रेटर देन 1 है तो हमने वो एलिमेंट पॉप कर दिया. लाइक क्या किया हमने, 2 ऐड किया, 3 ऐड किया, 5 ऐड किया, फिर से 2 ऐड किया, एंड अब हमें शो यूनिक बताना है, शो करना है अब हमें. तो इस केस में हम देखेंगे कि इस केस में हमारी 2 की फ्रीक्वेंसी क्या है, 2 है, 3 की फ्रीक्वेंसी 1 है, 5 की फ्रीक्वेंसी 1 है, जो कि हमारे मैप में ऑलरेडी इंसर्टेड है. तो अब हमें शो करना है. तो अब हम देखेंगे कि इसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी ग्रेटर देन 1 है, तो अपने कोड के हिसाब से हम क्या करेंगे, ग्रेटर देन 1 है तो हम ये पॉप कर देंगे एलिमेंट, लाइक ये हमारा क्यू से पॉप हो जाएगा. अब क्या है, नेक्स्ट एलिमेंट 3 है, तो हम चेक करेंगे कि क्या फ्रीक्वेंसी 1 है, तो हम 3 रिटर्न कर देंगे अपने फंक्शन से. सो हम इधर रिटर्न कर रहे हैं फ्रंट की वैल्यू जो हमने एक वेरिएबल में ले ली है. और ऐड में हम सिंपली क्या करेंगे, हम फिर से जो हमने इधर किया था ना कि अगर वो मैप में अकर नहीं कर रही है तो हम उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी 1 कर देंगे कि वो एक बार अकर कर ली, एंड हम उसे क्यू में डाल देंगे, एल्स हम सिर्फ फ्रीक्वेंसी इंक्रीज करेंगे. सो द सेम इज बीइंग डन हियर. सो इफ mp ऑफ वैल्यू इज इक्वल टू 0, in that case, sorry, here it would be if map की frequency equal to 0. So here I'll do mp of value equal to 1 and also q dot push value, else सिर्फ हम मैप की फ्रीक्वेंसी बढ़ा देंगे उस कैरेक्टर के लिए. And since the word return type is word, we are returning nothing. I'll run the code. So the answer is correct, and if we submit it, we see that we get a accepted answer. So like this was a interesting question according to me, and like, it was basically more of which data structure you're choosing and how efficiently you can use it. So I'll reiterate over the approach. We have a map wherein we store the element and its corresponding frequency. We have a queue in which we only enter those elements which haven't occurred previously. And how do we check it? We check if the frequency of that number is equal to 0. In that case, we insert the element, and otherwise we just increase the frequency. And how to show the first unique number? We can check if the frequency is greater than 1. That means it is duplicate. In that case, we pop that element from the queue. Like we are popping 2 from here, so that we can go to the next element and check if its frequency is 1. We see that the frequency is 1, so we return it. Else, if the queue is empty, we return -1 from the function. And the add function is working more of how we did in the FirstUnique function. We are seeing if the frequency is 0, that is the number is occurring for the first time. We add it into the map and we push it into the queue, else we simply increase the frequency. I hope you guys have understood it. Give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.